And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Saturday. March Madness just tipped off last night, and oh my goodness, did we call anything right last night? Jeez, our algorithm really did not fare too well. So we're still going to be breaking down March Madness, what happened yesterday. We'll kind of squeeze in what's going to happen today, maybe get a moneymaker going. Break down the NBA from last night. I am going to try and squeeze our MVP segment for the NBA into today's show. A lot going on with free agency in the NFL and March Madness and some basketball going on. I think we can fit it in today, though. And then always breaking down what happened in the sports world in our Stories of the Day segment. But before we get into that, we got March Madness tipping off in literally 14 minutes, folks. It's back. Another full day. Noon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight, folks. So strap in for another full day of basketball because there's not gonna be that many more days of basketball on all day. So take advantage while you can. So let's head over to our bracket to see how it's going. We've got 3 participants here in our bracket challenge, and unfortunately, we're in last place here. Not great. So we scored 6 points with all of our picks yesterday. HGM scored 7, and Go Rutgers in the lead with 10 points. So let's see where we went wrong. All right, well, here we go. UNC letting us down. Thought they would beat Wisconsin. They get kind of blown out there. 17-point win for Wisconsin. Gosh darn, watch out for them. And Winthrop, oh my God, we were so high on them. We had them advancing all the way to the Sweet 16, but they can't even beat Villanova. You get beat by 10? Come on. Thought the Golden Eagles were a little bit better than that. And then Liberty once again letting us down. Or no, Purdue letting us down. An upset that we did not call, unfortunately. So very well done to Liberty there, beating Purdue. Alrighty, I mean, we were totally off on the South bracket. I mean, we got one pick right. We got one pick right out of everybody that played yesterday in the South bracket. Not great. Utah State letting us down. We called that upset, but Texas Tech holds on. Colgate, another one. We were big on Winthrop. We were even bigger on Colgate, and I mean, they were doing good the entire kind of first half of the game, but then that the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, they just bottomed out. I mean, they just went on a no-scoring run. They couldn't buy a basket, and they let us down. But we had them going a little bit in the first half, if that's the silver lining. But, yeah, they get absolutely blown out there. Almost by 20 points, so not great there. Alrighty, then Virginia Tech loses it close. I mean, they forced overtime, but couldn't get it done in overtime. How do you force overtime and not step up in overtime and then still lose? I mean, you really just prolonged the game for no reason at that point. And then who was the last one? I mean, holy moly. Ohio State losing to 15th seed Oregon State. What? Another upset. We unfortunately did a call. So we called 2 upsets here, the wrong ones. And so with that, we only get Baylor. Baylor was our only correct pick in the South, so not great. Alrighty, then let's head over to the Midwest because those games also were on yesterday. Bingo bango, we got this second round matchup perfectly right. We obviously Illinois was going to win. We all knew that. But then we called Loyola Chicago over Georgia Tech, which was a good call. Loyola Chicago wins by 11 points there. So very well done to us. You know, a good second round matchup that is still intact. Thank goodness. Alrighty, and then all right, who else let us down? We picked Tennessee, but Oregon State really wins, and they really blew them out. I mean, for a 5-12 matchup, Oregon State just blew Tennessee out by 14 big old points there. Not great. Then we chose Liberty, and Liberty loses against OK State. Once again, not great there. Called the upset. That does not go. We were big on San Diego State as well. We thought they would get all the way to the Sweet 16 against Houston, but Syracuse goes and pulls the upset, unfortunately. So another upset we did not predict. This algorithm that we had really took a beating in the first half, but we do still have the East and the South that we are, or the East and the West that we are feeling very good about to try to get our algorithm back on track here. Oof. All right, and then just to close out the Midwest side of the bracket, we chose West Virginia. They win over, who was that, Morehead State. And then, who else got it here? 7-10 matchup. Rutgers beats Clemson. Man, oh man, another upset we didn't. Oh, we did call. Oh, we did pick Rutgers. Oh, I thought we picked Clemson. Yes, sir. Alrighty. So we did choose that correctly. And then obviously Houston beats Clemson State. I mean, Houston, we are big fans of this Houston team, and they were looking good. Put up 87 points, won by almost 30 points. So very well done. So we picked a couple of right picks. Obviously not that many, but we're ready to get back on track here today. So let's quickly see what the spreads are for today's action, because like I said, we are tipping off the 12-15 game. The first game of the second day of the first round of the March Madness tournament is tipping off in less than 9 minutes. So here we go. Alrighty, Georgetown in Colorado is the first game up in our bracket. We have chosen Colorado to beat Georgetown. Now, Colorado is 5.5-point favorites, so we will stay away from that one. Not really any great value. We're looking for some great value with some upsets that we think are going to happen according to our algorithm, and then a lot of points along with those. So that's what we're really looking for, and we should be able to get some with these USC and Ohio picks, because we do have both of those upsets. So hopefully we can get some great value at those games. So we will stay away from Colorado and Georgetown. Then we get UNC Greensboro versus Florida State. We have chosen Florida State, and they are -10, so we will stay away from that game as well. We are looking for the great value. We want the points here. We do not want to swallow any points in college basketball because, I mean, did you all just see what happened last night? Literally anything can happen. So we will be a little bit more comfortable with all those points. Alrighty, Eastern Washington and Kansas now. We have chosen Kansas, and Kansas is once again, 10.5 points, so we will stay away from that one as well. Then we get to St. Bonaventure and LSU, already a close spread there, only a 2-point spread. We have chosen St. Bonaventure, and they are getting 2 points, so we will take that. We think they win clearly, and we get, 2 little backup safety points just in case, late 3-point buzzer beater, St. Bonaventure loses by 1 on a, miraculous, classic March Madness shot. So we will take the 2 points there for St. Bonaventure. All right, then we go to Texas Southern and Michigan. And obviously, we got Michigan being clear favorites there. They're -25.5, so we will stay away from that. Even though I do want to kind of point out that Illinois beat Drexel by almost 30 points. So, their spread was about, 20 to 25 points as well, because they are the 1 seed. And then Baylor beats Hartford by 24 points. So the spread, it is still justified, but once again, we're not going to swallow 25 points in college basketball in a March Madness game. That's just no really great value there. Alrighty. All right, next up is Creighton and UC Santa Barbara. I do think we chose Creighton on this one, and oh, no, what are we thinking? That's our upset, the 12-5, the UCSB, yes, sir, and they get 7.5 points, yes, we think they win outright. Barack Obama also agrees that UC Santa Barbara is going to win outright. We saw his bracket, and we get 7.5 points. We love that. We will absolutely swallow that up. Alrighty, let's keep going here. Iona and Alabama. I've seen a lot of people with this Alabama pick, and they're getting how many points? Oh, they're -16.5. Yeah, I was going to say. That didn't sound right for a second. Alrighty, so Alabama, we do have Alabama winning, and we are not going to be swallowing 17.5 points, 16.5 points. No, thank you. Then we get to Drake and USC, and Drake was looking real good in that game. They went on some runs, so a little spotty, but they went on some runs in the late first half that really kind of tied the game, and then they went on runs late in the second half, and that won them the game. Now, if they didn't go on those runs, I mean, then they're going to get blown out. So they do have some lulls in their offensive kind of scoring potential out there. But let's see. We got the Drake versus USC. We have chosen USC. And Drake is getting 6.5 points here. Not really comfortable with that. Like I said, with the scoring lulls that they had in the first round, in the kind of playing tournament, a little skeptical on their scoring output just in general. So we will stay away from that game. All right, Grand Canyon in Iona. or Iowa. We have chosen Iowa. And we will not be swallowing the 14 points for Iowa. Alrighty, a couple of games left here. Maryland and UConn. Alrighty, we have chosen UConn. And they are -3.5. Okay, all right. So we will, once again, we'll stay away from that one. We are looking for the value. We want the points here. Alrighty, Ohio and Virginia. This is one that we have called. We have called the upset of number 13 Ohio beating number 4 Virginia, and Ohio is getting 7 points. So 7.5 for UC Santa Barbara and +7 for Ohio. Love that all day. Let's take that. All right, then we get Missouri and Oklahoma. This is a pick'em, so I think we might just take it, depending on whoever we get. I mean, that's, what you want. You want a pick'em or the points. You don't want to swallow any extra points, and if you feel confident, if you filled them out in your bracket that, hey, I got this team, why not take the pick'em here? So Missouri, Oklahoma. We have chosen Oklahoma, so let's ride with that as well. Oklahoma beating Missouri. Nice little 4-teamer to go, or nice little 4-teamer we got, and we still got 4 games to go here. So let's close it out here. Norfolk versus Gonzaga. I mean, everybody has Gonzaga winning this tournament, including us. I mean, they're just looking very good. They're undefeated. They're putting up a lot of points, and so this 33-point spread is a little justified. But once again, we're not going to be swallowing 33 points here. Alrighty, UCLA and BYU. We have BYU winning, and we do like BYU a lot. We like them a lot. We got them going all the way into the Final Four. We have them beating Michigan in the East. So BYU is -4 points. Do we take that? We're feeling very big on them, and then we just saw Barack Obama disrespect us by not even having BYU get out of the first round. So we'll swallow the 4 here by BYU. All right, then we get to Albine Christian in Texas, and that's another one that we love. We love the upset of Albine Christian ACU over Texas in the 14-3 matchup in the East. So once again, we will be taking Albine Christian +8.5 points here. And then the last game of the night, VCU and Oregon. We have chosen Oregon to win, and they are -5, so we won't be taking that. So we got a nice little 6-teamer here. Some good value you can find here, some easy ways to make some money. Take UC Santa Barbara straight up. That's those odds are +260, so that's very great there. And then if you take Ohio straight up, +255. So once again, some great value on some individual picks. If you get this 6-teamer, put $100 on it. We're looking at a big old payout of $4,800. Looking good out here. Now, our algorithm got torn to shreds in last night's game, but, I mean, we're not going to have 2 straight days of garbage algorithm picks, are we? Come on, it's got to turn around at some point. So let's bet this little 6-teamer we got going on here. Feeling good. Got a lot of points with some teams that we think are going to win outright. And that's what we're looking for here in these first early rounds. Give us those points, folks. We want the points, and we got them here. Alrighty, so now that we've taken care of the business, about to tip off in literally a minute after this commercial break. I'm assuming we are going to come back live to the tip-off. So I do just want to quickly finish off our coverage of March Madness very quickly by kind of comparing our brackets to what everybody else did in our kind of pool here. So let's shout out Go Rutgers, who is currently in first place. So let's see what he called. Unfortunately, he had Winthrop winning as well, so a little unfortunate there. But he called the Texas Tech and Arkansas matchup very greatly. So congratulations to him for not listening to us about Colgate. I mean, truly disappointing. I mean, they were winning and I was feeling good, and then the second half came and they really just blew it. So unfortunate there for Colgate. They had it for a little tiny bit. Alrighty. Unfortunately, he did not call the Oregon State beating Ohio State. I don't think anybody called that. That was truly wild upset there. All right, and then in the Midwest, he chooses Georgia Tech over Loyola Chicago. Not really great there. He calls Oregon State versus OK State. Very well done there. Nice little 12-5 matchup, Oregon State versus Tennessee that he called correctly, so shout out that. He also had San Diego State beating Syracuse. Unfortunate there. And then he's got Houston and Rutgers, so very well done. So 10 big ol' points is the first leader here in the 71% overall percentile for that man. Yes, sir. The man knows college basketball. Men's college basketball, more specifically. All right, and then let's do HGMF6 here. Only 1 point better than us. So let's see where he got that point from. He did. Oh, he took the Villanova over Winthrop. All right, congratulations. You chose Villanova over Winthrop. All righty. All righty. What else did he call here? Nice little Florida action there. Called the Florida win over Virginia Tech. Did not call the Oregon State over Ohio State. He chose Georgia Tech over Loyola Chicago. What are we doing out there? Alrighty, and then he chose, he got San Diego State. I mean, Syracuse, really, I think he's surprised. I think Syracuse surprised a lot of people, and that's kind of just on us for not believing in Jim Boeheim. I mean, come on, he knows the tournament. He will get ready. It doesn't matter what seed he is. So, little oversight there from us, choosing San Diego State. He chooses Clemson over Rutgers. Oof, tough one there. And he's got Clemson beating Houston. Oof, so no more points for that man in the Midwest. Yikes. Alrighty. So that's where we're at currently in our tournament here. We just got Georgetown, Colorado tipping off right now. Alrighty, so now that we've got our March Madness coverage out of the way for today, let's head over to our stories of the day. And the first one, Juju Smith-Schuster returning to the Steelers. And that was our first kind of initial thought. Like, we really didn't see Juju Smith-Schuster really leaving Pittsburgh. Really thought he was going to kind of be there his entire career. But he signs a 1-year, $8 million deal to return one more season with Big Ben. Can they get the ring? And this is kind of why I thought Juju Smith-Schuster would stay anyway, because I thought Big Ben would play at least one more season, because that's what he was saying basically, after the season ended. He was like, all right, let's ride it again. Let's run it back. So Juju Smith-Schuster, 1 more year deal for them. Now next season when they don't have Big Ben, will he go? Possibly. But it is interesting because this man did have offers from other teams. Kansas City gave him an $8 million with $3 more million in incentives to go to play for the Chiefs. And could you imagine Juju Smith-Schuster with Patrick Mahomes? Man, oh man. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is making 5'10", Tyreek Hill work, and then a tight end at kind of a true receiver in Travis Kelce. That's who he's working with. So you give him a kind of an A1, I won't say tier 1, we'll call him A1 for right now, wide receiver in Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, you're just giving him more dangerous weapons. So very kind of glad that he stayed with the Steelers, because that means he doesn't go to the Chiefs. And then the Ravens gave him $9 million guaranteed with $4 million in incentives. So that would have been the best kind of deal overall. $13 million total, more guaranteed, more right now, and then more to kind of look up for. So really interesting that he didn't go to Baltimore. I mean, he could have been the one true deep threat wide receiver for that Ravens team to open up them vertically a little bit more. So he could have went to 2 really kind of championship level caliber teams, but he chooses to stay with the Steelers and Big Ben for 1 more year. We saw Big Ben's arm declining at the end of last season. Truly unfortunate. He's got all the weapons around him. I mean, they've got so many freaking talented wide receivers on that team. So Juju Smith-Schuster, does he get lost in the mix this season? Does he break out this season? Is he playing for a contract? Does he still dance in the middle of the team's logo before the game actually starts? So all that is into question. We'll see what happens, but Juju Smith-Schuster re-signing with the Steelers. Let's run it back. Let's give Big Ben one more chance at a ring before he retires. Let's see what they can do. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm just glad he's not with the Dolphins. I will say that. I mean, this is definitely probably a year for him to kind of just rebuild his image to try and get better offers next season, because, he's only on a 1-year deal here in Pittsburgh. So we'll see what happens. But, just try to clean up that image. Stop dancing. Try not to be on TikTok too much during the NFL season and in the game days. Let's start with there. Game days. Don't go on TikTok on game days, and then we'll try to work our way up to a little bit less and less during the NFL season. But take this year, shore up, rebuild your kind of outside image a little bit, because it's not great, unfortunately, and try to get a bigger deal. But I mean, at least there's potential suitors for him, in 2022 after this season. So he does seem to have some backup options. Alrighty, and I love this one. Yes, sir. Texans are signing Pro Bowl running back Philip Lindsay, and I really don't understand why Denver moved off of him. I thought the running back by committee between Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon was absolutely fantastic, especially when you really don't have that kind of true franchise quarterback. You are going to have to kind of rely a little bit more on the running game because we've seen Drew Lock. He doesn't get it done. That's not an understatement, an overstatement, or anything like that. He does not get the job done. He doesn't win the games, and he turns over the ball way too much. And he doesn't score until the fourth quarter when the game's over. So those are all the knocks on their guy that they got. So now they're going to have to be looking for a quarterback in the draft, maybe another running back, depending on what they're going to do with Melvin Gordon. But really upset that the Broncos let this man go. But hey, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and this man is a true treasure here, a tough physical runner that you want on your team, and this man can run for the 1,000 yards. So he ends up signing with the Texans now, and the Texans have an absolutely stacked backfield now because they just got Mark Ingram, and now they got Philip Lindsay just in this free agent period, and they still have David Johnson, who's kind of now their premier back. So are the Texans, this is a little interesting that they're stacking their backfield. Are they going to try to run a little bit of an offense, what the Ravens are doing a little bit with Lamar Jackson and all those running backs? I mean, the Texans just picked up, a third of that kind of Ravens running back by committee that they've been working with in Mark Ingram. So interesting that we've got all this Deshaun Watson stuff going on. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? We know he's a dual threat quarterback. He could possibly do some of the offense that Lamar Jackson's doing. And if you got these three great running backs right here, David Johnson, Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, David Johnson's kind of your fast. Philip Lindsay's, your beef of running back. And then Mark Ingram, he can do it all. We've seen that with the Saints. We've seen that with the Baltimore Ravens these last couple of seasons. So really kind of shoring up their running game a little bit. Now, does that mean that they're going to run a style of offense like the Ravens for the Texans? Or does that mean, hey, we're not going to have Deshaun Watson, so let's kind of shore up our running game a little bit because we don't know what quarterback we're going to have, so we're going to have to kind of run the ball a little bit more heavy and consistently throughout this entire season? I don't know, man. I don't know, because I think Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston because they are slandering him. They are slandering this man big. So let's go to this story really quickly. I got to skip a couple because we're on the topic, so let's go to it. And now Houston police Twitter, remember all those allegations of the lawyer saying, oh yeah, we've got 6 cases and I don't need this. I don't need the fame or the money. I'm doing this because I truly believe these girls were blah, blah, blah. I mean, and now we get Houston police Twitter, verified Twitter. Quote, this was from yesterday at 6:47 p.m. This is what Houston verified police Twitter said. At this time, Houston Police Department is unaware of any contact between Houston Police Department and Houston attorney Tony Busby. That was the man. We're going to bring up the quote. I'm going to have to go find it really quickly, but I do want to bring up that quote again because now when we get all this information with that quote, it just seems this is nonsense story in that Deshaun Watson is truly being slandered here. So Houston PD is unaware of any contact between Houston PD and Houston attorney Tony Busby regarding the allegations contained in his recently filed lawsuit, and no incident reports regarding these allegations have been filed in our jurisdiction. Now we go back to the quote. I'm sure I can find it very quickly here. We go back to the quote of the Houston attorney Tony Busby, because the quote was just looking really kind of wild. Like, this is nothing that an actual attorney, an actual professional lawyer should be saying or would ever kind of think about saying. So let me go back to it, try to bring it up really quickly right here. This was the quote from the actual attorney right now that, Houston PD was, kind of referencing in their tweet. This was the quote of Tony Busby. Here it is. Third lawsuit of now 6 to be filed against Deshaun Watson alleging assault. This one the most egregious to date. Again, this is where it gets a little wonky in this quote. Again, I won't share details here, but I have open courts. We have open courts in our Texas Constitution, meaning all lawsuits are public record. Our staff have received numerous calls. We have screened each one, and I personally talk with and screen any individual on whose behalf we file. I've been doing this a long time. This is where it gets crazy. It's right here. I don't need, quote, fame. And to be quite honest, and I say this as modestly as I can, if I never made another penny, I would be quite okay. What are we humble bragging about our financial status when we're talking about 6 women coming forward on sexual assaults? You shouldn't have to be like, hang on, I'm telling you this is real because I don't need money. What kind of lawyer says anything along those lines? If this is a real true case, you're not saying, oh, I'm so rich and I'm just kind of doing this for the charity. I mean, these girls, they came to me. I don't need the credit. I don't need the money. Do y'all see how much money I have? Do you think I need more for this stupid case of these women coming forward against Deshaun Watson? No, I believe them because I'm so filthy rich. Why would I be doing this if it wasn't for the information and not the money? Because I don't need the money, although I am charging these people, but I don't need the money. I want the truth to get out. So it was just kind of really wonky. It didn't really kind of sit right with us when we were originally going over this quote. And now that this Houston Police Department Twitter is kind of like, we don't even know what this man's talking about. This man is like literally insane. So, and it's just wild because who's making these claims up? Somebody's got to be like orchestrating these fake claims. And when you look at, Houston, the Texans organization and Deshaun Watson, I mean, Deshaun Watson wants to go, Houston wants to keep him. Is something nefarious going over there in the Houston's organization? Possibly. It's a possibility because, Houston PD is like, yeah, we don't know what these people are talking about. These aren't real claims. The lawyer's like, I'm so rich. The women, I don't even know what they're saying right now. But man, oh man, Deshaun Watson, he's not going to be in Houston next season. I think these are some fake allegations that are being spread about this man. And now this is just going to push him over the edge a little bit. And if this ever gets kind of 100% confirmed, if that's what Houston was doing, trying to like put out some bad stories, some bad press to ruin Deshaun Watson's, trade value or just value overall to keep him. It's just wild. I mean, and this happens, folks. Don't kid yourself that this does not happen just in general in society. Like, let's be real, folks. So, man, oh man, Texans running game is good, but they're not going to have Deshaun Watson next year to kind of, do the Ravens kind of offense with a nice dual threat quarterback with some nice running backs, because they're all Texans are going to have is some nice running backs. So, man, oh man, I think they really beefed it with Deshaun Watson on this one, man. Darn. Alrighty, let's keep going here. Mitch Scherbisky, yes, sir, we all know he's signing back up to the Bills, and this man got not that much money. Darn, I mean, he came off his rookie contract looking for that big deal, and that big deal never came. So hopefully he kind of started saving some of that rookie deal money, because that's the most money he's ever going to get now. So unfortunate here, Mitch Scherbisky, 1-year contract with the Bills. It's a base of $2.5 million. He gets a $500,000 signing bonus and a $2 million salary, and then there's also $2 million in incentives up for grabs for Mitch Scherbisky, which he probably won't get because I'm sure it's some snap count numbers in there, and they're never going to not play Josh Allen. So truly unfortunate for Mitch Scherbisky. He's going to be backup. I mean, he's still a solid backup. I'm not going to knock him that much. He's not a great starter, and that's fine, and I've got no problem saying that, and I can pull out any film y'all want to see to back it up. But Mitch Scherbisky here going to be backing up Josh Allen. Josh Allen's been great. I'm assuming his kind of play is going to be elevated even more because they just got Emmanuel Sanders, so now he's got even 2 good wide receivers. So, I mean, his potential should go up even more, even though I think he's at a ceiling right now. But, I mean, the jump he made from last season to this season, I mean, who knows what his actual ceiling is. So, Mitch Scherbisky, man, you go from a starter to a backup, back to the starter. Now you're on a new team, definite backup. He will not rival Josh Allen at all, 0%. There's a 0% chance that Mitch Scherbisky is a starting quarterback just based on pure competition. Now, if Josh Allen goes down, obviously he's going to be the guy because he's the second best quarterback that they have on the roster. But still, he's not going to get any playing time. He should not even thinking about getting any playing time because Josh Allen's actually real gosh darn good, folks. So, Mitch Scherbisky. Unfortunate. The MVP, folks. The MVP is a backup. Do you want to live in a world where the MVP of the Nickelodeon Bowl is freaking a backup? Because that's not the world I want to live in. But he's not starting on my team. I'll tell you. Mitch Scherbisky will not be starting on my team. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, little quote out, little tweet out here by Bleacher Report. do you still believe in Cam Newton? And then they got this tweet and another quote, or this quote and another quote by Cam Newton, and this is the one that I want to talk about a little bit more, but since they brought up this other one, we'll probably talk about it as well. This one from Cam Newton, he posted a while ago. I think this was before he got signed, actually, to the Patriots. So it was the Cam Newton working out with the trash cans, and then he goes and he's like, Cam Newton explains why he's working out with trash cans. Quote of Cam Newton: keeping motivation close to you to remind you what not to be, and that's trash. I didn't like that at all, and I wasn't going to talk about it because, do whatever you need to do to motivate yourself. I don't really care. But then, I saw it again, and it's attached to this other quote, so we'll talk about it. But, you're posting about trash on, you were kind of trash this season, Cam. You're trying to not be trash, working around trash cans because you're kind of blending in with this outfit with the trash cans a little bit. He showed us nothing really great. He didn't elevate the play of the receivers around him. Bill Belichick in New England has a rich history of success these last kind of 2 decades, and Cam Newton kind of ruins it a little bit. He definitely could have been a little bit more competitive. We're talking about an MVP. We're talking about a Super Bowl participant. You cannot be crashing this hard on a team with Bill Belichick and all that knowledge. So, didn't really like this post of Cam Newton before he got signed. And then we get this quote: I refuse to let them slip or sleep on me in 2021. Didn't you just say that about 2020? Hey, I'm back. I'm ready to prove. I'm only playing for $1 million because I want to prove myself. And then you didn't prove yourself, and now you're getting just another $1 million deal. You're like the lowest paid starting quarterback in the league. And, you were trying to silence all your doubters last season talking, and now you're still talking. That's where I have a little bit of a problem. And are you doing this, for the clout on social media, or do you really want to get better? He goes on this tour before he gets signed saying, oh, Bill Belichick's actually real good, and he's just misunderstood, kind of just, praising Bill Belichick a lot, trying to make a story. And then, it was just a little interesting that, Cam's quarterback camp, the guy, Seth Owens, kind of disrespects Cam Newton, and then Cam Newton is seen, praising Bill Belichick, and then he gets signed. Just all that coming out together seemed like a little bit of a PR stunt to me, just a little bit. Now we get all these quotes: hey, don't sleep on me, I'm not trying to be trash, all this. It's just like, but then can you prove it a little bit? Because I've been the biggest kind of supporter of Cam Newton. We were going into last season praising Cam Newton. We wanted to see him get good, and we kind of believed in him. We kept giving him the benefit of the doubt and the second chances, but then they just never paid off. So we kind of fell off of him towards the end of the season. So now what's different this season? You got some tier two level tight ends and wide receivers that we know you can't elevate to tier 1. Is that what we're talking about? So Cam Newton, I would love to see you get good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock this man, but all these quotes and everything in the media, can we just play some football, and can you just get a little bit better? I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what, I'm rooting for the man. I would like to see this man have success again, but all this talk, it's like every single season you're like, I refuse to let them slip or sleep on me. You can literally put any date you want on here, on this quote of Cam Newton. I refuse to let them slip or sleep on me in 2020 or 2019 or 2018 or 2017. He says this every offseason, but then he still doesn't perform up to his potential. So I don't know, man. I don't think going into this season, in this offseason, I can be a true believer of Cam Newton. Let's just leave it at that. Alrighty, let's move on to a fresh start and a quarterback we can get pumped about. Yes, sir. Carson Wentz in the number 2 for the Colts. Yes, sir. What was his number? 11 or 17? That's going to Pittman Jr. here for the Colts. A nice wide receiver, a nice young emerging wide receiver. Definitely look out for that, man. Pittman Jr., wide receiver for the Colts. So Carson Wentz looking real good here. Nice little uniform, nice little photo day. Looking real good in the blue and white. Number 2 here. Look at that. Oh, yeah, that's a quarterback right there, folks. So, like we said yesterday on the show, this man, he gave it all in Philadelphia. He's a true competitor. And the management, who's the owner? Jim Irsay, he's feeling really good. He said this is, quote, a golden era of Colts football to come, folks. So Carson Wentz, he gets the support of the ownership, the management that wasn't coming from Philadelphia. We heard about the story of the Eagles head coach. Darn it. Who was the Eagles head coach? Whatever. Y'all know who it is. The Eagles head coach and Carson Wentz, they said they didn't even speak to each other for about a 6 to 8 week stretch. I mean, the owner put a statue of Nick Foles in the front of the stadium, and I get it. He won a Super Bowl, so yeah, I get it. But still, to be told, hey, you're the guy and you're the starter, and you know you have to walk in every morning to your job and see that statue staring you in the face that took all your clout, that took what you did in the regular season and just kind of finished it. It's good because it is a team game and I understand it, but it does play on the psyche a little bit, and I think that was kind of the main problem of Carson Wentz. He was giving his all to the city. The city wasn't really kind of repaying him back in the media or in just the organization alone, and now he's here in Indianapolis where they're ready to win now. Owner, management is happy to see him here. I've seen Colts fan all about this man, and I'm all about this man. I think this man can definitely play. He just can't stay healthy. That's the only red flag. So if he got all of his injuries out of the way, kind of his first couple of seasons, and it's a lot of seasons, or it's a lot of injuries in every season. If you got that all the way, that's the only thing that's going to hold him back here in this Colts team. He's definitely better than Phillip Rivers, and it's an upgrade over Phillip Rivers. And what did the Colts do this season with Phillip Rivers? They got the first round of the playoffs against the Bills, and they only lost by one possession with having the ball kind of last in a 3-point game. Just Phillip Rivers couldn't get it done. So they're ready to rock, folks. They're ready to rock. They got the quarterback. He's excited to be here. They're excited about him. I'm ready to see this man play right now. Truly. Okay, here we go. Little NCAA statement. Remember yesterday on the show we looked at the women's workout equipment that they were working with in March Madness, and it was literally just do I have it up? It's right here. They literally only had this. The small weight rack, the 2.5 to 17 to 20 pounds. It's literally this right here from Planet Fitness. We told you it's literally the rack in the very back corner of a Planet Fitness, folks. This is not a joke. This is the back right corner of my Planet Fitness right here. It's the same workout equipment that the women's basketball team was using in the double NCAA March Madness. So they published a statement. So let's go through it because it is classic. Oh, we're sorry. How could you blame us though? So here we go. NCAA statements on women's basketball tournament. This is the vice president of women's basketball. So this is her quote. As a former women's basketball student athlete, it's always been my priority to make this event the best possible experience for everyone involved. We fell short this year in what we've been doing to prepare in the last 60 days for 64 teams to be here in San Antonio. You've had 60 days to prepare, and the best you came up with is about a combined 50 pounds in weights. That's what y'all did in 60 days. And I love how they say, oh, but we had 60 days and 64 teams. Oh my God, there was just so many teams. But then it's here in San Antonio, so it's only one location. It's all the teams coming to you. You're in one centralized location, so why are we bringing up the team aspect? I get it's a lot of teams, but the men league didn't have any problems getting their freaking their gym equipment, their exercise equipment ready to rock. So why couldn't the women do the same? Y'all had 60 days. Don't put, oh my God, there were 64 teams. Yes, the men's had 64 teams as well. So what are we doing here? Oh my goodness. Once again, just, oh my God. Oh, poor us. Yeah, we're sorry. We fell short this year. Y'all fell short last year in the WNBA for putting those women in a murder hostel. Oh my God, while everybody's at Disneyland, the women are freaking in the deep south in a murder hostel. Okay, and then we get the senior vice president of basketball of the NCAA here. His statement: we have intentionally organized basketball under one umbrella to ensure consistency and collaboration. When we fall short on these expectations, it's on me. Oh my God, once again, okay, it's on me. Okay, that doesn't fix anything because we don't see y'all changing. It's still the same, and every year it's like, oh, okay, we fell short this year. And then next year, it's maybe a tad bit better. And then the next year, it's, oh, we fell short again. It's like, oh my goodness, can we stop with the apologies? Can we stop with it because it does not change anything? So when we fall short of expectations, it's on me. I apologize to women's basketball student athletes, coaches, and women's basketball committee for dropping the ball on the weight room in San Antonio. Okay, congratulations. Yes, we're gonna put it all on you. We are 1,000% gonna put it on you. You need to resign. You need to step down. I mean, we're talking about college athletes. The amount of money your team or school brings in does not matter in college because it's literally in the rules that the men's and women's sports will be treated 100% equally. Does not matter the revenue. So I don't understand the big, and we're not talking about, this is a small disparity. Like we said, I mean, this isn't like, the women got, this little small, kind of weight set, but the men's got maybe like a little bit of a bigger weight set. No, the disparity is wild on what they did. Folks, this is all the women had, and now we go to see what the men had. I don't think it's on this video. Darn it. But it's literally an entire room of benches and free weights everywhere. So it's just wild. I mean, we just get talk, and nothing ever changes. So that's what we're getting again. Just more wild talk. No, yeah. Oh, we fell short this year. Oh, it's on us. It's on me. It's on me. Oh, when I was a former student athlete, this is unacceptable, and I fell short. Alrighty. Congratulations. Y'all fell short. Keep talking. Oh, my goodness. We're so sorry. Oh, my goodness. It's on me. Oh, my goodness. This can't happen again. It fell short. We fell short. Nonsense. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go. Top safety prospect Trayvon Morig showed out at the TCU football pro day yesterday. And yes, he did. Truly impressive. This is one of the NFL draft prospects we have already looked at. I know we've taken a little bit of a pause in our, NFL draft countdown, looking at an NFL draft prospect every single day. I know we've kind of taken a break since March Madness has started, but we loved what we saw by this man, Trayvon Morig. Great safety. We love that he can go. He's a surefire open field tackler. We love that he can attack the screen game very well to blow up screens. And the way that the NFL is going right now, screens are becoming more and more heavy. Not running back screens, but wide receiver screens. Those are getting more heavy, especially with these emerging offenses of the Chiefs and the Texans and definitely the Ravens. I mean, that's all they're about there. So he can stop that. This is definitely somebody you want on your team, a great safety. And this is what he had, a 4.5 40, yes sir, quick safety, a 33-inch vertical jump, and a 4.19 short shuffle. So I was planning to play this tape as we were talking about him because I don't really want to break it down too much. But yeah, look at this man work. Yes sir, the bench press, absolutely fantastic. I do want to kind of get to just some of his actual workout here. So we get some nice little drills here of him backpedaling, but he's just an absolute great safety. He's probably going to be the best one taken off the board. We were truly impressed when we already looked at him, just breaking down his highlights. Really just impressive. Just his sheer tackling ability, how he can play the ball, how he can instantly recognize plays and go and blow them up and attack and not break down so people juke around him. He's a surefire tackle, like we said, so he can go and just kind of go 100% from, coming off of his man or his zone and going and attacking the ball and not missing or not breaking down. So, these athletic running backs or wide receivers can kind of, put the stutter on or juke him out a little bit to pick up an extra 5-10 yards. No, he's blowing it up in the backfield for a -2 yards, -3 yards. So truly impressive here. Great pro day, just elevating his own draft stock. Love seeing that. Great job, Trayvon Morig. And I look forward to see this man drafted. Okay, Bears signing veteran cornerback Desmond Trufant. I mean, we know their offense is going to be kind of trash this season if they're going to be sticking with Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback. So their defense is going to have to really step it up this season. A nice veteran corner, a nice 6-foot veteran corner. Just couldn't stay healthy last year for the Lions. Unfortunately, only played like 6 games. But this man can still ball. I am a big believer in Desmond Trufant here. So Bears are trying to shore up their defense a little bit more. I mean, that's all Matt Nagy can do right now is just shore up the defense because that offense, yuck, gross, gross. Alrighty, and then we get some news here. Saints have to forfeit the 2022 sixth-round pick and pay $700,000 in fines for violations of the league's COVID protocols during the 2020 season. Now, we kind of heard about this story very heavy kind of early on in the season with, Sean Payton's mask under his nose for an entire game, basically, and the NFL kind of, cracked down hard on them. They kind of made an example of the Saints a little bit, and now the punishment is here. 2020 sixth-round pick, draft pick forfeiture, and $700,000 in fines. They may be able to get that pick back, though, because the Raiders had their sixth-round pick reinstated upon appeal during their kind of whole COVID thing, and but the team still had to pay $800,000 in violation. So we'll see if the Saints can get that pick back. The NFL wants the money. They're like, yeah, pay that fine. You're not getting rid of that fine. You can keep the pick, but we want that money. We want $700,000. We want $800,000. We want that milli. Give us the milli. You have the pick back if you pay us $1 million. So we'll see if these kind of these forfeitures of picks, if that stays or if they can appeal it. But, expect the Saints to be having to pay $700,000 for their unfortunate COVID protocols. Alrighty, and then the last story to talk about, we get a top 10 of the Atlanta Falcons this season. So let's see what the Falcons were working with. Let's see how Matt Ryan was working. I want to see a lot of Calvin Ridley. This man is so great, especially alongside Julio Jones. Can definitely just stretch that defense horizontally when you got a nice number one wide receiver on the right side and Julio Jones, and a really kind of a number one. I'll call Calvin Ridley a number one wide receiver. I've got no problem with that. What he's been showing us his first two seasons in the league are absolutely magnificent. So we're all about it. So let's see who was doing work. Got the top 10 best plays of the Falcons. Let's see what they were doing. Alrighty, number 10 against the Lions, Matt Ryan to... Oh, it's a catch. Wow, I was going to say, what the heck is this? So, a little bit of a circus catch here for the Falcons. A 5-yard play. Ball goes off one receiver's hands, off a defender's foot, into the receiver's hands. Wow, alrighty, that's not even a good play, but whatever. Alrighty, number 9 here. Chiefs trying to get fancy on him, and they say, no, we're picking you off. You're trying to throw a pass back to Patrick Mahomes. I'm a corner. Don't disrespect me by trying to throw to a quarterback. You're trying to have a quarterback catch over me, a corner? What, are you nuts? We're shutting that shit down. That's a nice pick by that Falcons defense. Alrighty, number 8 here against the Seahawks. Oh yeah, Matt Ryan throwing it absolutely perfectly. Is this Russell Gage? An absolutely full extension there to catch the pass. Absolutely magnificent. Alrighty, number 7, Matt Ryan gearing up for another deep ball. This time it's to Calvin Ridley. Can he finish it? Oh, he doesn't finish it. But a nice catch to get absolutely behind every single defender here. He's got a nice kind of a full step. That's a full step on that defender. Clear. I mean, that's a perfect pass by Matt Ryan as well. Great catch. Able to get behind the defense. That's what Calvin Ridley does, folks. He takes the tops off the defense. Here we go at number 6. And now we get... Who's this? Who's number 17? Damn. All right, everybody's taking the top off here. Here we go. Number 6 now. Against the Broncos. Going deep. Once again to Jackson. Number 17. Dang, they got some weapons out here. It's truly unfortunate. Matt Ryan's serviceable. I don't think he's clutch. I don't think he can get it done in the red zone. But they've got a nice wide receiver core here. All right, number 5 going against the Saints. Once again to Calvin Ridley here. Just look at that second move. Some decent separation there. Able to kind of high point the ball and keep track of the ball and then make a full extension. Just look at this man work. He never loses sight of the ball. He kind of undercuts it a little bit too much here. And just kind of that makeup of it to full extend, back up. Fantastic work. Alrighty, number 4 now. Matt Ryan going deep. Once again, Calvin Ridley, there he is. Getting behind the defense. Staying in bounds for the extra 2 yards for the touchdown. I mean, folks, if they had a little bit of a better quarterback than Matt Ryan, this offense would almost be unstoppable, honestly. That's why we want Deshaun Watson to come here. Truly so bad. Matt Ryan here. Step back. Nice little fake. Julio Jones takes it all the way in for the touchdown. Yes, sir. What a great little juke here. Oh, I'm going to run with it. Pulls back last second. Nice little flip over the first line of the defense. And that's just Julio Jones finishing the play there at number 3 for the TD. I mean, could you imagine Deshaun Watson with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley? It's putting up 50 points every single game. Alrighty, Falcons defense here against the Raiders for 2 straight plays. This one on 4th and 1. They say, no, where are you going? Don't disrespect us by going for it on 4th down in the first quarter. What are you, nuts? And then here we go. They get revenge later with a nice little sack on Derek Carr and a forced fumble. Don't disrespect us. Another defensive play against this Raiders team, and it's a pick. It's going to be a pick 6. Yes, sir. They pressure Derek Carr. He makes an errant throw, and that's going to be a pick 6. Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness. A 4th play? 4 plays at number 2, all defensive against the Raiders? They forced Josh Jacobs to fumble the ball. Oh, my goodness. Yikes. This Raiders team. Woof. And this Falcons defense was trash. And another one. 5 defensive plays all against this Raiders team for a big old another fumble from Derek Carr. And they're already up 33-6 here in the 4th quarter. I mean, holy moly. This Atlanta defense was really nothing good all season. That was probably the worst thing about this Falcons team. Obviously, their head coach, getting fired and having that carousel around him. But the offense, it was fine, but that defense was really not that great. All right, and then the number 1 play here, Russell Gage to Calvin Ridley. It doesn't matter who's throwing the ball to this man. It doesn't matter. You can have a wide receiver throwing to Calvin Ridley. You can have Matt Ryan throwing to Calvin Ridley. He's going to be behind the defense. He's going to catch whatever the ball you place around him, and that's what's up. Yes, sir, Calvin Ridley. So many opportunities on those highlights. Love watching that man play. He's a true number 1 wide receiver, folks. You got to respect his talent, his speed, his catching ability. He's great. He is so freaking great. Alrighty, those are all the stories we had to cover for today. Right now, Colorado is currently winning 11 points here against Georgetown, and Colorado was minus 5.5 here, so very well done to them. Kind of covering it very quickly, very early on. Let's see what we get here. Running a play, trying to take the 3, doesn't take it. Oh, he does force it up. Oh, and he cashes out. Oh, Colorado's got some hitters on their team. Gosh darn, a well-contested 3. Buried that. Yes, sir. Alrighty, let's go into the NBA from yesterday, see what that's all about, and see if we can get a moneymaker in time for the show, which I think we should. I think we should be able to do that. Alrighty, so here we go. Last night, the Spurs and the Cavs, and the Spurs get the win 116-110 over the Cavs. Let's see what's going on with this Cavs team. Is DeMar DeRozan back playing for the Spurs? He is. Alrighty, so he's back in the lineup here. 20 points for DeMar DeRozan, 7 assists. Keldon Johnson, 23 points and 20. Oh, my God. 23 points and 21 rebounds for Keldon Johnson. 11 of those rebounds offensive as well. Oh, my God. Woof. The Cavs, man. Jared Allen, 15 points, 11 rebounds, trying to get it done. Larry Nance Jr. getting exposed at the 4 position here. Colin Sexton, 29 points on 48% shooting. Darius Garland, 29 points on 50% shooting. So the guards getting it done, and that's really what they need because we really can't count on Isaac Okoro, Larry Nance Jr., or really Jared Allen. I mean, Jared Allen's not going to be putting up the big old points. I mean, he is a little bit of an above-average scoring big, but I mean, big scoring, they're usually bigs are putting up, 15 to 20 points. Yes, Jokic is the exception. Yes, Anthony Davis is the exception. I get it. But, yeah, only 15 points here for Jared Allen, which is good, 15 points and 11 rebounds, but you need scoring to come from other pieces, and we know Larry Nance Jr. doesn't score that much, and Isaac Okoro doesn't. So the 2 guards here for the Cavs stepping it up, unfortunately still get the loss against the Spurs 116-110. Alrighty, then we get the Kings and the Celtics lose. Man, oh man, the Celtics team after the All-Star break have not been looking great. Let's get them updated now. Let's get these standings updated. Celtics are currently now the number 8 seed, 5-5 in their last 10, 3-game losing streak. Ever since Marcus Smart has really came back, they really haven't been able to kind of figure out that offensive rotation and the scoring ability. So very lackluster night here offensively for the Celtics, only putting up 96 points and losing against the Kings. Not a great loss there. So let's see what happened here. Alrighty, it looks like they're going back to kind of their normal starting lineup here. Kemba Walker at the 2, Kemba Walker at the 2, Marcus Smart at the... Here it is. Kemba Walker at the 1, Marcus Smart at the 2, Jaylen Brown at the 3, Jason Tatum at the 4, and Daniel Tice at the 5. That's basically their starting rotation, their main rotation that they started in the beginning of the season before Marcus Smart came out or got injured, and then they had to kind of reshuffle it around. But they're kind of back to their starting lineup and still not winning, and everybody played hefty minutes. Everybody in the starting lineup playing 30 minutes besides Daniel Tice playing 25, so... But here we go. Kemba Walker, 16 points, 7 assists on 33% shooting. Stop taking all the shots. He's not that really efficient scoring the ball. And that really hurts him a lot. I mean, Kemba Walker, all these bad shots, man. Not great. Marcus Smart, 9 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 42%. He shot 1 of 3 from 3. Not terrible. Daniel Theis, 14 points, 8 rebounds. Jason Tatum, 15 points, 7 rebounds on 37% shooting. Once again, Jason Tatum, he hasn't really been looking that great overall this season. Hasn't really, he's really has not a lot of help on this team besides Jaylen Brown. I mean, Kemba Walker doesn't really help the team that much. Daniel Theis is not that great of a big. He's probably tier 3 big, and that's not great in this league. So Jason Tatum really needs to really kind of start being a lot more efficient here, scoring the ball. Hasn't really been doing that. 15 points on 37% shooting. And then Jaylen Brown, 19 points, 11 rebounds. That's decent, but 40% shooting on 20 shots. Only 19 points. Nobody's scoring 20-plus points for the squad. And then off the bench, you really can't count on anybody. You cannot count. This is one of the least depth, least deep playoff teams that there is right now. What do we got? Robert Williams putting up 12 points and 8 rebounds. He has been getting slightly better as the season progresses, so I do want to shout out Robert Williams. He was kind of like the worst big here last season and this season with Daniel Theis and Tristan Thompson. Robert Williams, he was the worst big, but he is kind of getting a little bit better here, and I think he's still young. I think he's only like 2 or 3 years in the league. Yeah, 2 years. So he is still getting a little bit better. So, we'll see if he can compete for the starting job over Daniel Theis, because I'm not a big fan of Daniel Theis just in general anyway. Alrighty, and then the Kings, De'Aaron Fox, 29 points. Yes, sir. Buddy Hield moving back to the 3 here. We saw him at the 2 a little bit. They do elevate Tyrese Haliburton to the starting lineup, so love seeing that. Didn't have a great night, Tyrese Haliburton at the 2. 4 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds on 16% shooting. Not great at all. But hey, possibly his first game here in the starting lineup. I don't know what their last game starting lineup was. Like we said, we've been taking a little light on the NBA. Hopefully we can get back on track here. Just March Madness, folks. Darn. Oh, my goodness. And Colorado is absolutely killing it right now. 36-19 over Georgetown. Oof. Yeah, that Colorado minus 5.5 was looking good. Darn. Didn't take it. Unfortunate. But, hey, our other picks are even better than Colorado minus 5. So, get right. Get right. Alrighty, let's finish off these Kings now. So Buddy Hield, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6 of 13 from the 3, 55% overall, not terrible. We'll take it. And Raquan Holmes, 25 points, 11 rebounds. Harrison Barnes, 15 points, 13 rebounds. So everybody getting it done. Everybody rebounding the ball over Daniel Theis and company, because that's what the Celtics are very not good at. They've got no great bigs. So well done for the Kings of getting the win. Alrighty, Heat and the Pacers, and whoa, a big old win for this Pacers team. Very well done for them to finally win a game with Karis LeVert. And Karis LeVert didn't even have that good of a game. Malcolm Brogdon, 27 points, 4 assists. Karis LeVert, 8.7 assists on 36% shooting. Miles Turner, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Domantas Sabonis, 13 points, 15 rebounds. And Justin Holiday, 17 points and 4 rebounds for the starters. And then off the bench, they got some great production here. Doug McDermott, 17 points. TJ McConnell, 16 points, 15 assists, 6 rebounds. Holy moly, great night from him. And then Jeremy Lamb off the bench, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. So everybody was getting it done here. Great scoring off the bench. Now we go to the Heat, who did not step up here. Jimmy Butler, 17 points, 8 rebounds on 60% shooting, 4 assists to go along with that. Kelly Olynyk still at the 4 here. He's still at the 4? Why is this man still in the starting rotation? Ooh, alrighty. I really do not like Kelly Olynyk and Bam Adebayo kind of on the floor at the same time. I do like Kelly Olynyk coming off the bench. I think he thrives off the bench better than being a starting 4 here. But Kelly Olynyk, 7 points, 6 rebounds on 18% shooting, 1 of 7 from 3. The threes are not efficient when he starts. When he comes off the bench, they're pretty good. The percentage is pretty good. But, man, oh, man, in the starting lineup, Kelly Olynyk, who was Bam Adebayo was back, so don't really know why Kelly Olynyk is still in the starting lineup. Put Duncan Robinson at the 3, Jimmy at the 4 maybe. Have Goran Dragic at the 1 if you need to replace anybody. But, man, Kelly Olynyk cannot be on the starting rotation. All right, Bam Adebayo, 20 points, 8 rebounds. Great night by him. Duncan Robinson, 6 points on 22% shooting. Very lackluster again. Kendrick Nunn, 7 points on 37% shooting. 1 of 4 from 3. A little lackluster. Off the bench, we get Goran Dragic putting up 16 points on 60% shooting. Yes, sir. And Tyler Hero, 15 points, which is good, but very inefficient here. 26% from the field and 1 of 5 from 3. So just nobody was getting it right, getting it done for this Heat team. Jimmy Butler didn't go big. Goran Dragic didn't go big. And we got Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn going very, very light. So unfortunate there, but well done for this Pacers team. Doesn't change our mind about the Pacers at all. I still don't want to see them in the playoffs. They don't have a good big. They don't have a consistent big or really anybody consistent scoring the ball besides Sabonis. And he's busy rebounding and assisting for, consistent 30-plus point games. So Pacers, they do beat the Heat. But, Pacers, they're not a threat. They're not a problem. They're not a deterrent for us to pick against them. Alrighty, moving on to Nets and the Magic. And the Magic win 121-113 over the Nets, and the Nets just couldn't get it done scoring the ball, unfortunately. Kyrie Irving had a decent game with 43 points and 6 rebounds on 4 assists on 61% shooting. 3 of 8 from 3. So good night by Kyrie Irving. James Harden, 19 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds on 26% shooting. So he just couldn't kind of get it done last night scoring the ball. DeAndre Jordan, 8 points, 6 rebounds. Jeff Green, 3 points, 5 rebounds. Joe Harris, 16 points. Classic Joey H. Didn't shoot well from 3 of 13. Didn't really shoot well overall, but hey, 16 points. I guess we'll give it to him. And then off the bench, just really nothing else. Bruce Brown, 7 points. Landry Shamet, 6 points. Nicholas Claxton, 7 points, 4 rebounds. So just a little light here off the bench. A little light by James Harden. A little unfortunate. Alrighty, now we go to the Magic. Why were they on? Well, Aaron Gordon, 38 points, 6 rebounds, yes, sir. Vucevic, 22 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. Evan Fournier, 31 points. Chasen Randall, 13 points. So really everybody in the starting rotation was getting it done, scoring the ball. And the Nets couldn't keep up with the sheer scoring output that the Magic was having. So just needed somebody else to step up. Kyrie did. Nobody else did. Unfortunate. Alrighty, Jazz and the Raptors, and the Jazz get the win here. We got a little video from this. We get the last possession here for the Raptors, down 3 points. Jazz up 115-112 over the Raptors with 3 seconds left. Let's see what happens here. Siakam gets the inbound pass, fires up a 3, swirls in and out. Unfortunately, does not go down, and they lose the game. So Siakam, unfortunately, could not get it done for the tie to force overtime, and they do end up losing the game because of that. So, a little unfortunate there for the Raptors. Do we have the game? I thought we just clicked on the game. All right, so the Jazz get the win, 115-112 over the Raptors. Just Siakam couldn't be clutch. Unfortunate. Alrighty, then we get the Pistons and the Rockets. Obviously, Pistons win. I mean, there's no even point of talking about this Rockets team. They're so trash. All right, Warriors beat the Grizzlies 116-103 over the Grizzlies. So, I mean, well done for the Warriors to kind of stay on track here with some wins here. Oh, is this right? Oh, the Steph Curry did not play, and they still win. Wow. Andrew Wiggins goes absolutely monster. 40 points, 4 steals, 4 assists, 8 rebounds on 58% shooting at the starting 2. So what a lineup here. Jordan Poole at the 1, Andrew Wiggins at the 2, Kelly Oubre Jr. at the 3, Draymond Green at the 4, Kevin Looney at the 5. So really big roster shake up here. Jordan Poole, 25 points. Andrew Wiggins, 40 points, all stepping it up. Damian Lee off the bench, 21 points, all getting it done. Kelly Oubre Jr. does not get it done, 4 points on 28% shooting. Alrighty, now we go to the Grizzlies. I mean, this is why we can't trust the Grizzlies this much. I mean, you just lost to the Warriors without Steph Curry, and you let Andrew Wiggins drop 40 points on you. That's not great overall. So I really don't know what to make of this this Grizzlies team. I want them to be good, but they do this. They do this. They lose this game that they should have won at home. Ja Morant, 14 points, light. Grayson Allen, 14 points. He actually shot pretty good. 75% and 2 of 3 overall. So this is a decent performance by Grayson Allen. Jonas Valanciunas, 10 points, 16 rebounds. Kyle Anderson, 7 points. Dylan Brooks, 8 points. Just nobody putting up any decent, sizable points here for the Grizzlies. Nobody stepped up like Andrew Wiggins did, so the Grizzlies lose. Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate for the Grizzlies. Back down 2 games below 500. Classic Grizzlies, right? Alrighty, last 3 games here. Bulls, Nuggets. Nuggets get the win. 131-127 over the Bulls. And wow, this was a close game that really went the distance here. Let's see who is scoring for the Bulls. Thaddeus Young still in the starting lineup. 11 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Yes, sir. Shot 71% as well. Hit 1 of 1 from 3. We love Thaddeus Young, folks. 6th man of the year candidate. Got to start respecting him a little bit more. And he is kind of, thriving here in the starting lineup. Zach LaVine, 32 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Kobe White gets moved to the bench. Wow, very interesting here by the Bulls coach for this lineup here. And I kind of like it. Kobe White coming off the bench, 17 points on 53% shooting. Zach LaVine, the 32 points, like we said. Lauri Markkanen, 10 points. Otto Porter Jr. off the bench, 22 points as well. So a little bit of a lineup shakeup here by the Bulls, and it almost paid off with the win over a nice Nuggets team. We do we got tape from this one as well? Yes, sir. So here we go. Jamal Murray, folks, a huge clutch player in this league. We got to give him top 5 clutchest players in the league right now, folks. I'm ready to give him that. After what we saw last year in the bubble, just kind of going toe-to-toe with the Jazz and Donovan Mitchell, going 7 games and being kind of clutch in 4 of those 7 games. He's bringing it over here. So here we go. Denver down 3 points, 116-113 with 10 seconds left. They have the ball. Last possession here. Jamal Murray passes to Jokic, runs around a little bit. Jamal Murray goes to the 3-point line, gets the ball from Jokic, fires up a 3, and that's cash money. Yes, sir. Unfortunately, he did it over Thaddeus Young, which is not good because I do like Thaddeus Young. So Thaddeus Young didn't have great closeout defense here on Jamal Murray, and Jamal Murray just kind of sidesteps him and drains the 3, goes into overtime, and then wins the game in overtime. So nice clutch performance by Jamal Murray. Love it. Where's the game at? Alrighty. So here we go for the Nuggets. Jamal Murray, 34 big old points. I think they said 31 of his 34 points came in the 4th quarter in overtime. So the man was just clutch. He was not great for the rest of the game. Will Barton, 16 points. Jokic, 34 points, 9 assists, 15 rebounds. Paul Millsap, 4 points, 4 rebounds. And then Michael Porter Jr., yes, sir, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Did not shoot well from 3. 1 of 5 from 3, but 50% overall from the field. So we'll give him it. Alrighty, so definitely interesting here for the Bulls. Let's see where they're at kind of in the standings. Currently number 10, just kind of 2 games out from that 8th seed. We know the play-in tournament is 7 through 10. So, the Bulls are still in the playoff tournament. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. But, yeah, not bad here for the Bulls, and I do kind of like this lineup. We'll see if they stick with it. Alrighty, Suns getting their revenge on the Timberwolves in their back-to-back second meeting. 113-101 over the Timberwolves. So Suns get back on track. And then we get Blazers and Mavericks. Blazers get the win over the Mavericks, 125-119. So thankful that we just kept the Blazers in the top 10 yesterday in our power rankings. We were thinking about kind of moving them out, but we wanted to give them kind of one more chance. No other team has kind of really stepped up. So we gave the Blazers one more chance, dropping them down to that 10th seed, but they get a nice, huge win over the Mavericks. CJ McCollum was absolutely clutch and lethal in the 4th quarter, really kind of led them to the win because the Blazers were kind of down big going into the 4th quarter. So CJ McCollum really steps it up, and they get the win over the Mavericks. So very well done to the Blazers. Alrighty. We are going to go to our moneymaker. Let's kind of squeeze this in. There's only, 2, 4, 5 games on tonight in the NBA, so let's see if we can do anything here. Any good value? Can we rival the value that we just got on our March Madness picks? Alrighty. Let's see what we got. Currently, USC Greensboro over Florida State is not looking so hot. UNC we didn't take that one. We're talking about UC Santa Barbara. That's my bad. All right, so disregard that. Now let's head over to the NBA and see what we're looking like on our picks and lines. So here we go. First matchup up is Hawks and Lakers. Hawks +4, Lakers -4. This Hawks team is looking real dangerous right now. A nice 7-game big old winning streak for Atlanta, going toe-to-toe against the Lakers. Now let's see if everybody's in. For the Hawks, Chris Dunn is out. Cam Reddish is still out. For the Lakers, LeBron James, game time decision, he's going to play. Jared Dudley and Anthony Davis is still out. So basically everybody's go. Just the usual suspects are out. So we will be taking the... I don't know if we're going to take this game. Like we said, the Hawks win streak, it's been against kind of the lackluster teams. This is their 7-game win streak. Here we go. Thunder, Rockets, Cavs, Kings, Raptors, Magic, Heat. Really any good teams there? Any even playoff teams? Heat are a playoff team. They beat them, but that was on a back-to-back. In their second game, they won the second meeting. Magic, no. Raptors, they're number 11 here in the East. Not great. And I know, I think this was the game where Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam were still out. Yeah, no Fred VanVleet, no Pascal Siakam, no OG Anunoby, so you're winning games, so we can't take the Hawks +4 there. It's not great value. Yes, they're on a 7-game winning streak, but it's kind of against the lackluster teams in the league. Alrighty, then we go to Kings and the 76ers. Alrighty, Kings +6, 76ers -6. Let's see if Joel Embiid is still out. For the Kings, Marvin Bagley is out. And for the 76ers, Seth Curry and Joel Embiid are both out. So we really can't trust this 76ers team without Joel Embiid, so we will stay away from that game. That brings us to Warriors and Grizzlies. Oh, Warriors +5.5, Grizzlies -5.5. I wonder if Steph Curry is still out. I'm sure he is with this spread. Steph Curry is a game time decision. Alrighty, and then for the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson is out. Well, we're going to take the 5 here for the Warriors. I mean, we cannot trust this. Actually, we're not taking that. I forgot. That's in a back-to-back with the Warriors winning yesterday. So can't trust. We're not taking back-to-backs. I mean, you cannot take back-to-backs. It really does not go the same way, or even kind of as close or even decently recognizable as the first meeting went. So we are unfortunately have to stay away from that game. So let's move on to Spurs and the Bucks. Spurs +9.5, Bucks -9.5. Okay. Give me the defense of the Spurs +9.5 points here, as long as everybody's good to go. LaMarcus Aldridge is out, but they're trying to trade him. We know this. For the Bucks, everybody's good to go. So everybody's good to go in both of these games for both of these teams, and we're going to take the points here with the Spurs. Yes. Give us the great defensive ability on this Bucks team. Now, the Spurs don't have the best three-point shooting, and that kind of helps beat the Bucks if you have a great big or if you have great three-point shooting, but I'm going to count on the defense here of the Spurs for them to get it done. Yes, the Bucks are on a nice little 5-game winning streak, but I mean, we can't really trust this Bucks on long winning streaks. It does not last. It crumbles, it falls. They have to reset. They have to start over and kind of build up their rotations, their minutes, and just their confidence and momentum from the free throw line, of all that. So Spurs +9.5. They may not win, but I'll take the points there +9.5. That's fantastic. Alrighty, and then the last game of the night, the Hornets and the Clippers here. Cody Zeller is out for the Hornets, so now they have no big. But I do want to see what they do for the bigs here, because this could be an opportunity for the Hornets to get a little bit better, to kind of see what they actually have in real game time scenarios. So Cody Zeller's out, big out for the Hornets, because they really don't have a true big now. Patrick Beverley is still out for the Clippers, and Serge Ibaka is a game-time decision. We may be crazy, but I'm interested to see what this Hornets team does at the starting 5 with Cody Zeller out, to see if they can kind of get it done. Cody Zeller is really the only starting player on that Hornets team that I don't trust 100%. So I'm going to take it. We're going to take the Hornets +9.5 here. Interesting value here, and with Patrick Beverley being out for the Clippers, we know he's kind of a decent piece because he is the facilitator on their starting rotation, and ever since he's been out, the Clippers have not been good, and the Clippers haven't been good with him either. I mean, they're not great. They're 4-6 in the last 10, so we can't trust the Clippers. 9.5 here for the Hornets with a little experimental at their 5. I'm about it. We'll take it. Nice points here. Spurs +9.5, Hornets +9.5 for our NBA picks. Alrighty, we do have time in the show today, so we are going to do our MVP race, folks. We want to try to do this every Thursday. Unfortunately, because of March Madness, we've been having to push it off for a little bit. But since it's the back half of the season now after the All-Star break, let's start kind of fine-tuning our MVP discussion, folks. So that's what we've got here today on the show to close it out. Our MVP race. So we're going to kind of do it in small steps here to kind of get a firm 1, 2, 3 right now as of this moment of 3/20, March 20th, 2021 at 1:13 p.m. We're going to try and get an accurate depiction of our MVP race. So, firstly, what we're going to do, we're going to break it down into 3 stages. We're going to do it, first of all, we're going to go with just stats straight up. Straight up stats, what you've been doing this entire season. We'll break those down and rank them 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 players in our MVP race that we've been talking about from the beginning of the season. If we have to start incorporating some other names in the back half of the season, we will. But we're just starting with our top 3 right now. So here we go. Or let's finish kind of explaining how we're going to break this down. So we're going to initially rank it 1, 2, 3 just based off the stats. Then we're going to go into their schedule and count good wins. And what we're going to count as good wins is right now, who are the top 6 teams in the East and the top 6 teams in the West. Like the new playoff formatting here in just this season for the NBA, the top 10 teams, or the number 7 through number 10, have a play-in tournament. So we're going to count as good teams, good solid wins here as numbers 1 through 6 in the East and the West in the playoff race. So we'll count those, and we'll see if we have to make any adjustments based on these players' wins overall. And then for our final kind of round of selections here is we're going to do what have you done so far since the All-Star break right up until today, March 20th. So we'll see if we have to move anything around just based on what have you done for us lately right after the All-Star break, when everybody really needs to be locking it in, locking it up, focusing on your playoff positioning, getting to that number 1 seed if you can. So that's what we want to see. So let's first off tell you the 3 players we are kind of looking at as kind of the front runners of the MVP race. Now, we don't have LeBron James in the top 3 here, although he should be. LeBron James should be the MVP literally every single season. We see, his number 2s not always being healthy, Anthony Davis, or just not being there, non-existent. We saw that with, his Cavs years when he was beginning carrying garbage to the finals. We don't have LeBron James. I think LeBron James should be MVP every single season. So we're not going to have him in this discussion just because I don't think the league is going to give it to him this season. I think there's other stories, other players that they're going to kind of want to give the MVP to. Alrighty, so here we go. The 3 candidates that we have so far are Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Damian Lillard. Why we like Joel Embiid? Well, I mean, he's making this team work. They had the outside shooting. They brought in the outside shooting, and he's still consistent down low. Him and Ben Simmons are working together, and they're the number 1 seed in the West, or in the East. So we love all that from Joel Embiid. That's why he's one of our top 3. Then we got James Harden. Out of everybody in the big 3 of the Nets, James Harden is the one that's sacrificing his game the most, the one that's kind of fine-tuning his game around what is happening on his team the most. He's taking less shots, assisting the ball more, rebounding the ball more, still scoring good points, because we are going to break down his stats in a little bit, but he's taking that back seat. Kyrie wants to be the number 1 on a team so freaking bad that he's like physically forcing other players to stop scoring the ball so he can get more shots. Whether they're better shots or not, it doesn't matter to Kyrie Irving. He just wants to be the one. So I got to respect James Harden a lot. And plus, Kevin Durant hasn't been playing basically this entire season so far for the Nets. And James Harden is single-handedly getting it done. Kyrie Irving has taken a couple of games off as well. James Harden, I think, has only missed maybe 1 game, if he missed a game at all. But he's the one constant on this team. He's the true facilitator. He's clutch. So is Kyrie. Don't get me wrong. But Kyrie Irving is not fine-tuning his game to what this team needs like James Harden is. So I got to praise James Harden so much on that. It's so impressive, and I love watching him play kind of maybe even more than I like to see him on the Rockets now that he's kind of a facilitator. So we got James Harden in our MVP discussion, and then we also have Damian Lillard. I mean, folks, he doesn't have Nurkic or McCollum for basically this entire season, and he still has them currently as the 6th seed in the West, but it was all the way up to the 4th seed at one point. They were that high. So were they the 4th seed? I think they were. But he had them very high up without having his kind of true number 2 and maybe even true number 3. I would put maybe McCollum as the 2, Damian Lillard obviously at the 1, and Nurkic at the 3 kind. Yeah, absolutely. So Gotta shout out Damian Lillard for that, and he's just been so freaking clutch, folks. He is the most clutch currently player in the NBA. I don't want to hear about it. There's no argument to be made. We're going to kind of look that up as well. I'm going to kind of use that as an argument when we look at the MVP discussion in a minute, but he's just absolutely clutch. No number 2 here, still getting it done like LeBron James does. No Anthony Davis. LeBron James is still getting it done, still getting the other players involved, elevating the other players' stats around him, and that's what Damian Lillard is doing. So we're giving Damian Lillard a lot of credit here for his playoff positioning here for the record without having McCollum and Nurkic. So those are our 3 MVP candidates so far: Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Damian Lillard. So let's start the process of kind of finding out who should be number 1 here. So let's read their season stats and kind of have our first ranking on just their season stats so far. Alrighty. Season stats with the record. We do have that included. So here we go. Joel Embiid putting up 29 points a game, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists on 52% shooting, and they're 28 and 13. And they're 28 and 13 on their record. Alrighty. So that's great. The points are there, double-digit rebounds, light on the assist, but, I mean, he's big. He wants points and rebounds. That's what he's doing. He's shooting 52%, and we know he can kind of stretch the floors with the 3, so that's pretty good as well. I mean, look at this, shooting 42% from the 3. Absolutely magnificent. So great stats there by Joel Embiid. Now, James Harden. He's putting up 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists. He's the only player close with double-digit assists, folks. The next highest, I think, is like Trae Young with 9. So James Harden getting it done. Double-digit assists is just so freaking great, especially on this Nets team, where there's a lot of like individual ball movement, or you would think there would be because of James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. You would think it would just kind of be, all right, it's your turn to take the shot. It's your turn to take the shot. That was kind of the narrative going into the season. But James Harden's like, no. I'm going to change up my game. I'm going to facilitate this floor because we got talent. We got other shooting talent, and I've got no problem being unselfish and just passing the ball. So absolutely fantastic. He's shooting 47% from the field, and they are 28 and 13. Did that update? Because I might be a game behind in the record, not the stats. Nets are 28 and 14 because they just played last night and lost. 76ers are still 28 and 13. All right, and now we go to Damian Lillard's stats. Alrighty, he's putting up 30 points a game. Yes, sir. So he leads that kind of field in scoring, even though Joel Embiid is very, very close with 29.9. Still not going to round up there. I'm not going to round up anywhere. So 30 points for Damian Lillard, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. So a little lackluster on the rebounds and assists compared to everybody else. But, the 30 points, fantastic. 45% shooting, 38% from the 3. He's got their team at 23 and 16, just kind of by his lonesome. And he's just ultimate clutch, folks. He is truly ultimate clutch. Do we want to bring up this segment too? I mean, just folks, look at this. This is just a season, folks, of how clutch Damian Lillard is. Damian Lillard shot. I'm just using this this website. I love this website. You can fine tune it very much. So, what is it? Stats.inpredictable.com. So Lillard shot 76.9% on field goals, which is the clutch squared field goals, which is kind of the clutch, go ahead buckets with like a minute in the fourth quarter. So that's how they break it down. And so he's shooting 76.9% clutch shots just this season alone, compared to the league average of 40%. So this man is well above the league average, folks. Multiple game winners just this season alone. I mean, look at all these makes, folks. Yes, sir. These are game-winning shots right here. No time left in the fourth quarter. 32 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 16 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 14 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So he's just getting it done. 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Getting it done. Winning all those games. Being absolutely clutch. Now, you might be seeing, I see some of these red marks. These are all in the same game, folks. This 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 marks right here are all in the same game. This last green one actually made them win the game, not these 2 misread ones. So, he's still being clutch, getting it done. All right, and then this big old run here, all different games, all getting it done. And then against the Blazers, or against the Pelicans, he didn't hit the game-winning shots, unfortunately, or the clutch shots, but they still end up winning the game. So I'm not going to penalize him for that. So just absolutely greatness. They're not losing games, being clutch, getting it done. So all of those stats, I guess we can look up. I mean, let's just be fair. Let's look up James Harden and Joel Embiid. Are they as clutch as Damian Lillard? Damian Lillard? I don't think so. But let's see where they're kind of at here. All right, so let's find James Harden right here. Alrighty, he's got 6 clutch shots. Let's see how he's looking here. Ooh, James Harden shooting 75% on clutch shots. Okay, all right. What do we got here? Game winners. Against Portland right here, he missed a layup. These are all the same games. They end up winning this game. Who won this game? Blazers won this game. So James Harden does have clutch shots, but they're not leading to wins like Damian Lillard is. I mean, we'll look at all these clutch shots. Here's one. And they win it. They win 130, 123, 122. So they win by 1 there. This clutch shot. They win the game 121, 118. This clutch shot. That's the same one, but they still win that game 128, 121, 118 against the Mavericks. All right, this one against who they got in this one? Against the Pelicans. Clutch shot that won them the game. There it is, 126, 124. This one's the same game. And now we got this one against Golden State, I think it said. Yeah, they win 108, 106. So Damian Lillard's clutch shots are leading to victories, where some of these ones from James Harden, these 4 here against the Blazers, not getting the win here. All right, let's see about this one. I mean, these clutch shots are coming in like, 2 minutes, a minute 55. What did this one say? This one came at a minute 55 left in the game. 47 seconds left in the game, 41 seconds left in the game. This one it did result in a win. All right, so one of his clutch shots with a minute left led them to a win. So we're talking about, and then he just went on these 3 misses here. And then these last 2 clutch shots here, I mean, just one from the other day against Detroit where they win the game. But, I mean, the clutch shot came at a minute 37 seconds left. So he does have clutch shots, not kind of the clutchness we're actually kind of talking about with Damian Lillard. So a little inflated there. And then we'll go to Joel Embiid to look at his clutchness real quick. He's got 7, it looks like, 7 shots. And he's at 78% as well. Let's see what his clutch shots are. Once again, I mean, his clutch shots coming at 2 minutes left in the game, 109, 138. Let's see if these result in some wins here. They do win that game, 113, 107. But that once again, that one came with like, a minute, 9 seconds left. This one came with 4 seconds left. I think we can watch this, actually. So very well done for Joel Embiid hitting this one. Can we watch this? I think we can. Let's watch this one. So here it is. Down 2, gets the inbound pass, takes the shot, bango, hits it. That ties the game, and then they go on to win the game. So that was definitely clutch right there. Love that. Alrighty. What else we get here? Making this one, I mean, we're not going to count a clutch shot with 2 minutes left, are we? This one with 47 seconds left, he misses it. Do they lose the game? They don't lose the game, but he missed the clutch shot. Alrighty, this one against Cleveland. They win the game because of this. They do, or no, they lose the game. So he makes a clutch shot, or he doesn't make the clutch shot. That's it. Let's see it. Tied at 92. Trying to hit a clutch shot. Can't get it to go. Goes in overtime. They lose the game. So Damian Lillard is the clutchest out of the 3. His shots are resulting in wins. So stats wise, compared with the clutchness. Alrighty, I think we have to rank it. Joel Embiid won just based off stats alone. I mean, 29 points, basically 30 on 52% shooting with those 11 rebounds, double-digit rebounds on another category besides the points. That's what we're looking for. So very well done by Joel Embiid. Alrighty. But the clutchness, man, and the record of Damian Lillard, man, I want to give it to him so much. I just want to give Damian Lillard the MVP. But the 30 points is great. The 4 rebounds, the 8 assists. I mean, he has the least amount of rebounds compared to the 3. He has the second amount of rebounds or assists compared to the other 3. The record's the worst of the bunch. But, like we said, I mean, James Harden has Kyrie Irving. Joel Embiid has, everybody. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. Where Damian Lillard's working with, Gary Trent Jr., Enes Kanter, Carmelo off the bench, Derrick Jones Jr. in the starting lineup, no CJ McCollum or Nurkic, and he's still getting it done. So Damian Lillard's stats compared with the clutch gene, I think I got to give it up for Damian Lillard at the 2. And then for number 3, I'm going to give it to James Harden. I mean, the assist is great. I mean, the 25 points is the least amount of points, and that's to be expected, especially when you're having so many more assists. The 11 assists there, so double digits in another category. Once again, great. And then that 8 rebounds is great as well. I mean, this man's almost averaging a triple-double out here, which is absolutely fantastic. The reason why we have him at number 3 probably is just, once again, I mean, his supporting cast is very good. I mean, they still got Joe Harris and Bruce Brown and, Kyrie Irving. So more kind of skilled pieces than what Damian Lillard is kind of currently working with. Now that CJ McCollum's back, now we can start talking about, a little bit more evenly. But I think just based on stats, record, and clutchness of what has happened kind of in the totality of the season so far, we're going to rank it like this. Joel Embiid at 1, Damian Lillard at 2, and James Harden at 3. Now, we are going to count for our kind of second ordering. Now, since we have our kind of base 1, 2, 3, we're going to kind of look at the overall schedule and count quality wins and see if we have to move any around. Is, Joel Embiid and the 76ers just beating the Magic and the Timberwolves and the Magic again? Is that all they're coming after? So we know Joel Embiid and James Harden are in the East, a little bit of a lackluster conference compared to the West where Damian Lillard is. So we'll see what happens here. So like I said, we are counting quality wins as the top 6 teams in the Eastern and Western Conference. Now that we have this kind of play-in tournament, NBA is kind of recognizing, 7th and 8th seed, kind of the same as the 9th and 10th seed. So everybody's got the opportunity. So we are going to count quality wins as the top 6 teams in the East and Western Conference. So let's take all their schedules now. We'll start here with the Blazers. We're going to count quality wins to see what these are looking like stacked up together. Alrighty, so here we go. Jazz, this is the Blazers schedule. First game, Jazz lost, can't count that. Then they beat the Rockets. That's not a quality win. That's not even close to even thinking about a quality win. Then they beat the Lakers. Alrighty, quality win right there, number 1. All right, lose to the Clippers, beat the Warriors. I don't think the Warriors are in the top 6 yet. No, they're number 9, so that's not a quality win. Alrighty, then they lose to the Warriors, lose to the Bulls, beat the Timberwolves, not a quality win there. Kings, not a quality win there. Raptors, unfortunately, not a quality win there. Kings, again, not a quality win there. Pacers, they lost to them, so it doesn't matter, and I don't think they're in the top 6 anyway. The Atlanta Hawks, have they clawed their way back into the top 6? Yes, they have, so that's another quality win there. They're number 5. Alrighty, now we keep going against the Spurs. 2 games against the Grizzlies postponed. The Knicks, they win against the Knicks, and I believe the Knicks are in the top 5 or the top 6. Oh, they're number 7. Oh, man, we're not going to count them. Unfortunate. They just slipped out. Truly unfortunate. Alrighty, Thunder, they lose to the Thunder. The Rockets, they beat the Bulls. The Bulls are currently not in the top 6. Nope. Okay. Alrighty, they lose to the Bucks. They beat the Wizards. They beat the 76ers. Alrighty, quality win there. Lose to the Knicks. Beat the Magic. Beat the 76ers again. Alrighty, 4 quality wins so far. 2 against, a former opponent. So let's kind of mark that. 76ers twice, just in case we need a tiebreaker or something. All right. Alrighty, Cleveland, not a top 10 team or top 6 team. Dallas Mavericks, are they back in the top 6? I don't think they are. They are not. Oof, unfortunate. Alrighty, keep on going. The Thunder win. The Pelicans win. Losing against Washington, Phoenix, Denver, Lakers. Tough 4-game stretch there. They beat the Hornets. I believe the Hornets are number 6, yeah? Hornets are number 6. That's a quality win. So 5 there so far for the Pacers. Let's keep it going here. Warriors, Kings, they get the wins. Phoenix, they lose. Minnesota, they win. Minnesota, they lose. Pelicans, they win twice, and I don't think the Pelicans are in the top 6. So, alrighty, kind of eye-opening here. The Blazers and the Lillard only have 5 quality wins here. Not great, I don't think. We'll see how it's compared to everybody else, but that's not a strong mark, I would say. Alrighty. All right, now let's go to James Harden and the Nets schedule. Let's see what the Nets are beating. Are they beating quality teams? So here we go. They beat the Warriors. They're not quality. Celtics, they're number 8, so not quality there. Okay, they lose against the Hornets and the Grizzlies. They beat the Hawks. The Hawks is a quality win. They lose against the Hawks. They lose against Washington. They beat the Jazz, quality win. They beat the 76ers, quality win. Everybody's beating the 76ers, man. Alrighty, Grizzlies, they lose. OKC, they lose. Denver, they win. Let me double make sure on Denver. I do think they are. Yep, they're number 5. All right. Alrighty, number 5. So another quality win there. Where did we just leave off at? Where's Denver at? I keep going back to the Blazers. That's why. All right. Denver, right here. All right. Here we go. Beat the Knicks. Not a quality win. Beat the Magic. Not a quality win. Beat the Bucks. Quality win. They're at 5 already with a lot of games to go here. All right. Lose to the Cavs twice. Beat the Heat twice. Where are the Heat at? Are they top 6? Ooh, they are. So they beat them twice. Back to back. 2 quality wins there. Alrighty. Beat the Hawks. Another quality win. Beat the Thunder. Lose against the Wizards, beat the Clippers, another quality win. Lose against the Raptors, the 76ers, and the Pistons. Beat the Pacers, the Warriors, the Kings, the Suns, another quality win. The Lakers, another quality win. The Clippers, another quality win here. They beat the Kings, the Magic. They lose to the Mavericks. They beat the Spurs. Where are the Spurs at? They're number 7. Oof, just cut off. All right, they beat the Spurs, they beat the Rockets, they beat the Celtics, they beat the Pistons, they beat the Knicks, they beat the Pacers. A huge stretch there with no quality wins, and that brings us up to date. So James Harden has 12 quality wins. Damian Lillard only has 5. Yikes. All right, now let's finish it off here with what Joel Embiid is doing here. Alrighty, let's count his quality wins. Here we go. They beat the Wizards. They beat the Knicks. They lose to the Cavs. They beat the Raptors. They beat the Magic. They beat the Hornets twice. What do we say about the Hornets? Are they good? Yes, they are number 6. Did I count the Hornets for the Blazers? I think I did. I think we did. All right. Back to the 76ers here. So they beat the Hornets twice. Beat the Wizards. They lose to the Nets. They lose to the Nuggets. They lose to the Hawks. They beat the Heat twice. That's 2 quality wins. They lose to the Grizzlies. They beat the Celtics twice. They beat the Pistons once. Lose to them another time. Then they're back on track beating the Lakers. So that's their 5th quality win so far. Is our pen running out of ink? This could be bad. Alrighty, so they beat the, what did we just leave off? The Lakers. Then they beat the Timberwolves, the Pacers, the Hornets. Another quality win here. Wow, the pen has just died live on the show. Oh, it's back. It's back, baby. Alrighty. Alrighty, another Hornets win, another quality win there. Alright, then they beat the Nets. Then they beat the Kings. They lose to the the Blazers. They lose to the Suns. They lose to the Jazz. They beat the Rockets. They beat the Bulls. They lose to the Raptors. They beat the Raptors. They beat the Mavericks. Where are the Mavericks at? Mavericks are number 8, so not a quality win there. They beat the Pacers. They beat the Jazz. Quality win there. Yeah, they beat the Jazz. And now, ever since the All-Star break, he only played 3-12, so he played against the Bulls. They get the win. They beat the Wizards. They beat the Spurs. They beat the Knicks. They just lose to the Bucks. So, Joel Embiid and the 76ers have 8 quality wins. So, now let's go back to our NBA MVP race. So Joel Embiid, the number 1 seed, 8 quality wins. James Harden, number 3 with 12 quality wins compared to Damian Lillard with the 5 quality wins. So I think we are going to have to rearrange this for Damian Lillard to go down to the 3, unfortunately. Just those 5 quality wins. I mean, that's 7 more quality wins for James Harden, and I think the stats are kind of close to kind of compete with Damian Lillard a little bit. Alrighty, so our new, after the second round of changing, we got Joel Embiid at the 1, James Harden at the 2, and Damian Lillard at the 3. Let me just double check to make sure we counted the Lillard wins right. We got the Lakers at 1. The Hawks at 2. Philadelphia at 3. Philadelphia at 4. The Hornets at 5. Yeah, all right. So truly 5 there for Damian Lillard, unfortunately. Alrighty. And now the last thing I want to do is kind of do what have they done since the All-Star break right up until this moment. So they all played a couple of games here. Alrighty, so here we go. Damian Lillard over the last couple of games. So this is starting from 3-11 all the way up to last night. 37-8 points, rebounds, assists. That's how we're doing it. 37-8, 25, 5-10, 30. Oh, I think I can just actually bring it up here if I do game logs. Yeah. All right. We'll have a visual. Why not? Alrighty, here we go. Where's the date? 3/11 after the All-Star break. Alrighty. So here it is. 37-8, 25, 5-10, 38, 7-4, 56-10, resulting in a game-winning free throw and a 1-point win over the Pelicans. So once again, the clutch gene is still here in the second half of the season. And then he had 31, 3-6, and 36, 6-6. So, really just kind of magnificent here by Damian Lillard. Unfortunately, it results into only 0 quality wins because we're talking about the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, and the Pelicans again. They did lose against the Suns, and he still did good. They lost by 6 when he went 37-8. So, once again, no quality wins here. Game-winning performance. We know he's clutch. Great stats. Putting up 30 points. He went for 50 in a game. Fantastic. 56 and 10. So, once again, double-double. Assists are still there. Then we go to James Harden. Let's go to him. Alrighty. And then we've got, what do we got for him? Here we go. Since 3/11. On 3/11, he went 22, 10-8. 12-point win against the Celtics. Then we went 24, 10-10. 5-point win against the Pistons. 21, 14, 15. 5-point win against the Knicks. 40, 10-15 and that results into a 9-point win against the Pacers. And 19, 4-9 just from last night results in an 8-point loss against the Magic. So, he doesn't score a lot and they lose the game. Not surprising there to us. We know James Harden, is a huge part of this team. So if he's not putting up, 25-plus points, possibly a loss there. All right, and that brings us to Joel Embiid, and this man's been a little injured. Ugh, unfortunate. Not great. So Joel Embiid over these last couple of games since the 11th really only played one game on 3/12, went 23-7-3, and then that was a 26 blowout win over the Wizards. So truly unfortunate here, inactive on 1, 2, 3, 4 games, and we are going to have to count that against them, folks. I mean, we're talking about, who's doing it the most consistently, and your team is still winning without you on the floor, so what does that do for your, MVP, race? James Harden's playing every game for the Nets. Damian Lillard's playing every game for the Nets, trying to win, and they're, losing games when they're not having great performances. We just told you James Harden lost when he went 19-4-9, and they have an 8-point loss. Damian Lillard goes 37-8, trying his best, and that's a 6-point loss against the Suns. So Joel Embiid, his supporting cast, is kind of winning without him right now. And we got, it was against the Bulls, the Wizards, the Spurs, and the Knicks. So we're not top tier teams. So I guess we can't penalize Joel Embiid too much, but he is still missing games. And, we've got to see you out there. If you're missing, 10, 20 games in a season and, another MVP candidate is, playing every single game and still having better stats or the same amount of stats, I've got to give it up for that second person that didn't miss all those games. So I think, unfortunately, I'm going to drop Joel Embiid down a little bit here. We're going to put James Harden to the number 1 seed here in our MVP race. We're going to go Joel Embiid down to the number 2. We're not going to drop him down to the number 3 just quite yet. Just quite yet. And then we leave Damian Lillard at the number 3. So after our last phase of kind of ranking, we got James Harden at the 1, Joel Embiid at the 2, Damian Lillard at the 3. Now let's just kind of quickly discuss what these players need to do to secure the MVP at the back half of the season. Now, we are going to update this every week on Thursdays to kind of see how they're still doing in the back half of the season, because you still have to show up in the back half of the season it's not all front loaded for the MVP. I want to see the totality, so you got to close it out. All right, so James Harden, what does he have to do to be MVP? He has to keep up what he's doing. He's got to average those 11 assists. That's what it has to come down to. The points, 25 points, that's what I want to see. I want to see 25, 8, and 11. Nothing can drop below that, and they also kind of need to compete for that number 1 in the East. Honestly, whoever is going to be the number 1 in the East is really going to come down to James Harden and Joel Embiid, who's going to kind of be the 1 or the 3, depending on what Damian Lillard does at the end of the season. So James Harden needs to keep up those assists, needs to keep up the scoring production, and whenever Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant are not on that starting roster, he needs to elevate his play to really secure a win for the team. So James Harden can keep up the number 1 seed in the MVP. For Joel Embiid, he has to get healthy right now. We got to see him back as fast as possible. He's got to keep it up with the get up to the 30 points a game. Let's try to get over that 29. I think it's like 29.9. I think it's very, very close. Yeah, 29.9, but I want to see 30. There's no rounding up here because, if you tell me you put up 29.9 points a game, you put up 29 points a game. You cannot round up in actual game scenarios. So, got to see Joel Embiid get up to that 30 points, keep up the 11 rebounds, maybe get a little bit better on the assists, maybe try to strive for 4. I know he's a big, so that's not really his game. So, we're not going to, kind of use that mark against him. But really got to start being there right now. Got to get back in that starting lineup. Got to start being able to play. And once again, you have to compete for that number 1 seed in the East. Whoever comes out number 1 seed in this East is going to have the advantage in the MVP race. Right now, they're both at 28 wins, 13 losses for the 76ers, 14 losses for the Nets. So their Nets are a half a game back. So really, it's going to come down to who wins this Eastern Conference while keep on putting up these stats. And then for Damian Lillard, his path, he does still have a path here for the MVP. Now that CJ McCollum's back, we need to start to see this Blazers team winning games consistently now against the better teams. I mean, we just said they only had 5 quality wins. That's very light. So you're beating you're kind of favoring to your schedule a little bit against the worser opponent. So got to start seeing Damian Lillard beating the better teams now that CJ McCollum's back. He's still got to be clutch. Still want to see him with these averages. Let's see. He's got to improve on maybe the assists a little bit. Get up to maybe you keep the 30 points, but try to get up to that 8 assists. Try to rival what James Harden is doing in the assist column with the 8. Never mind. Scratch that. James Harden had 11 assists. Try to get up maybe to 5 rebounds as well. Try to rival what James Harden is doing with those 8 rebounds. Try to get up there as well, maybe 5. Don't think he's going to get to 6 because it's going to be hard to try to do that in the back half of the season. And then still being clutch. And then what he has to do, the bare minimum for Damian Lillard is to get up until the top 4. He needs to be at least one of the top 4 teams here in the West. Don't think they're going to be, if he can rival for the number 1 seed, absolutely. Try to get as high as you can. But the minimum cutoff for Damian Lillard to be MVP is the number 4 seed. He cannot be the 5. He cannot be anything lower than the 5 here. Got to be 4 or higher if we want a legitimate argument, because we're talking about, James Harden and Joel Embiid rivaling for that number 1 seed in the East, which they're pretty much going to lock up. I don't really see anybody else. I don't see the Bucks continuing on and having great success here in the back half of the season. They'll still be average, but they're 9-1 in their last 10. Don't really see them keeping that up. So Blazers and Damian Lillard, now that CJ McCollum's back, they need to start making their push up to the top 4 here. So if you can get in the top 4, keep it up, still be clutch, start getting some more quality wins here, we can kind of try to make the argument for Damian Lillard. But as of right now, we got James Harden as the front runner, Joel Embiid slightly behind him, and Damian Lillard ready to make that move to the number 2. If Joel Embiid is still out in kind of this entire next week, I'm going to put Damian Lillard up to the number 2 seed as long as they're winning games. So that's what we got. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today. We'll quickly see if anything's breaking. Does not appear so. we will be out of here then. All right, we're back tomorrow, live, noon Eastern, breaking down March Madness, breaking down the NBA, talking about any stories that need to be talked about. So join us live, noon Eastern tomorrow. All righty, folks, we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening.